Hi, I'm Victoria Seed, and I am back doing these 10 at 11 sessions on Fridays at 11 a.m. And these are 10-minute sessions for women who are living with a loved one's addiction. And this week is Place to Be's Children's Mental Health Week here in the UK. So, what I wanted to talk about was how to support really children's mental health when living with family addiction. So, I help my clients to live their most happy and peaceful lives and have the best chance possible of motivating a loved one to make a change. But what we cannot forget is quite often there are children within a family unit who are also affected by the problems that are going on in relation to one or more persons' drug or alcohol use. I've done this work for 20 years. I have delivered and developed services and managed services where I've worked directly with children, manage people who are working directly with children as well. So I'm speaking from experience when I talk about this subject. Now, Children's Mental Health Week this week is kind of all about connecting with others and communication. So I wanted to focus on 6 areas that we can help children with their mental health and living with family addiction. So what we know is that living with a parent or carer's substance use is what is known as an adverse childhood experience, which means that potentially a child's health and development can or will be impacted by living in this environment. So a lot of my clients will say to me, well, they don't know about it. They don't know about it. I've hidden it, I've masked it, which I can understand, people are trying to protect children, but at the same time, they will see, hear, feel things that are going on in the environment that are going to worry them. They might see different versions of a parent or carer or other family member. They might see your reactions to living with that family member as well, which may mean that they don't want to talk to you or anyone within your family about the situation. So, today I'm going to provide 6 tips about how to support their mental health so that we're mitigating the risks of the child's health or development being affected right through to their adulthood, which happens. Okay. Now, so first of all, the first thing I'd say is what you need to do is look after your own mental health. That is really, really, really important. And I'm just going to check my notes here. So I have some pillars for well-being that I work with my clients with. So it's sleep, nutrition, water, body, mind, and connection. And what we do, we kind of review where we're up to with all 6 of those areas. So sleep, body, mind, nutrition, water, and connection with others. So, what I would say to you is if you can just kind of assess that for yourself and for others within your family, particularly the children. So, how are those things for them? Are there any areas for improvement? Because usually, even I work with clients on this stuff. Do I have it right all the time? Absolutely not. So it's always a work in progress. It's well-being stuff. So that's the first thing. Because if you don't look after your own well-being and your own mental health, then you're going to be less likely to be able to look after other people's, including children. And we need really to be putting the needs of the children first within a family unit. So the second thing is to take a check on your family well-being. Um, so like I've just said, go back to those well-being options. Think about your own emotional health, your own mental health. It might be that you need a trip to the doctor yourself just to talk things through, but check on your family's well-being as well. So number 3 is ask how children are, listen to them, and hear, really and truly hear what they have to say. And it's really easy, and I do this myself with my own children. So I'm speaking from the position of being a parent that doesn't always get things right. It's really easy to want to take their pain away or solve their problems. However, just hearing what they've got to say from their perspective is really powerful without interrupting, and really hear about the impact of that. So a question you can ask, is, "Oh, what are you happy? What do you like doing? Is there anything worrying you at the moment? How are you?" And just wait for a response without jumping in to solve problems or defending a situation. Okay, because then we're getting into a position where we know where they are at. And quite often, my clients, when I work with them, they're very scared of asking children that question because it might not be what they want to hear. It might be that when they feel like they've protected children and sheltered them from this stuff, that they actually know more than they think. And it's not always easy, this. But what I'm saying is, it's really important to know where they're at, because if we don't hear their voice, we're suppressing their feelings. We're not validating their feelings, and that internalization of stuff can be really, really damaging. Okay. Number 4, help them to pursue their friends and interests. So, a lot of the time we might not want to invite children round to the house if there's a loved one using substances, and rightly so if there are any risks to other children being exposed to that behaviour. If there is, make other arrangements outside the home, but pursue those friendships any way you can, and pursue their interests. And their interests can change. I know that with my own children who are 6 and 9, but pursuing their own interests really, really, really can help them to improve their resilience and coping strategies. Yes, these things can be a distraction, but we don't want distraction to be the only strategy. Do you know what I mean? Like do, because then they'll forget what's going on in the home. That isn't healthy. But what we want to do is pursue friendships and interests as much as we can while doing the other things that I'm talking about and suggesting today. Number 5 is have that healthy routine and boundaries without your loved one's addiction getting in the way. So obviously it can get in the way, and it does get in the way, but just remember, that a child's needs are paramount. So whatever's going on, we've got to put their needs first. And that paramountcy principle comes from the Children's Act. And yes, it's kind of set in law where we make decisions about children and stuff like that. I'm not suggesting that there should be any court proceedings for any of you. Sometimes it might get to that point if the risks are high. So don't worry about that. But what I'm saying is, if we keep that mindset in everything we do, the child's needs are paramount. It can be really helpful to just readjust the focus from your loved one, their substance use, and how it's affect everyone to the needs of a child. Because living in an environment like that, no matter how much you've protected them, can affect them. Okay. And number 6 is get some help. You don't need to manage this by yourself. So every member of the family needs their own help when you're living in this situation. I offer help to affected family members, drug and alcohol services, recovery services, whether they're private or local, will offer help to your loved one, but don't forget about the children. And what I always suggest is that you let school know what is going on at home. Because if they know, let them know whether the children are aware or not, but at least they've got somebody else checking in on them professionally, not telling them stuff they don't need to know, but just checking in to see everything's okay. And the reason for that is because if they see that this issue is causing upset within the home, they probably don't want to talk about it with you or with anyone else that's around, or potentially with any extended family members as well. So get somebody that is professional, knowing what is going on, and get your own help. I've got the link to my group here, facebook.com/group/ not my addiction. Please come and join that if you're a woman who is professional, business, or retired and you need help with a loved one's addiction. So that's it. I hope the session was useful. Drop any comments or drop me a message if you would like to chat. Okay, I'll see you next week.